Okay, so let me just tell you what I got going on here. I didn't film this part because I was having camera problems, and it's pretty easy. So all this is a little olive oil in the pan, 1 large onion chopped. Let that saute for a minute. Then I added 3 cloves of chopped garlic. Let that saute for 30 seconds. And then I added 1 small carrot. It was about 1 cup of carrot sliced. Of course, you can use like freezer vegetables or any kind of vegetables you want. It's really up to you. So that's basically all I did so far. And I let it cook for about 5 minutes, and now we're at this point. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the seasonings. So I'm going to add 1 bay leaf. I'm going to add some rosemary, probably about half a teaspoon. And it's dried rosemary, so I always kind of like crush it in my hands first. Black pepper. I'm going to add some sweet Hungarian paprika. More for color, really. Just about a half a teaspoon. I'm going to add some thyme powder. Also about a half a teaspoon. If you have fresh, you know, of course fresh is better, but I'm working with dried herbs today. A little bit of garlic powder, that's like 1/4 teaspoon. And then I'm going to add some Old Bay. I think that this is kind of a nice touch. And that's about a half a teaspoon there. And of course, salt to taste. Give that a nice stir. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is I have about a cup of frozen peas. They're not fully defrosted yet, so I'm going to throw them in here. They're going to defrost. I'm going to let this all cook together until the carrots are almost cooked through. That's probably going to take about, I don't know, I would say 10 minutes or so. So I will see you back when that's ready. Okay, so it's been cooking for about 8 minutes, and now I'm just going to add about a cup of corn. This is just from a can. Use frozen corn, fresh corn, doesn't really matter. Oh yeah, this is looking wonderful. And the corn is, you know, already cooked, and so are the peas. So really it was just the carrots and the onion. And of course you can add potatoes, you can add mushrooms, you can add bell pepper, you can really add whatever you want. Just go crazy with it, it doesn't really matter. Okay? Alright, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add the stock. Now, I made my own homemade chicken stock, but you can use canned if you want, you know, whatever's easier for you. I would just say, you know, be careful when you buy chicken stock in the store because it can sometimes be really salty. So yeah, just, you know, keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to try to measure for you guys, be a little bit better about it. 1 cup, 2 cup, 2.5. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to season that with salt and pepper to taste. So I'm just going to bring this chicken stock up to a boil, and then I will show you the next step. Okay, I just want to quickly show you guys what I got here. Now, you really can't find pie dishes in Taiwan, so I just kind of had to make do with what I could find. I could find these tin foil things. I don't even know like what they would normally be used for. And I have to make individual pot pies. I can't make a large pie because I just can't find the proper tin or dish or metal for it. So, you know, working with what I have. I used Betty's Basic Pie Crust from Betty's Kitchen, and I just did the exact measurements. I converted self-rising flour, and I made 3 of these, and 2 of them have tops, and 1 of them is going to be open because I didn't have enough. So, and I doubled the recipe, okay? So I was making it for 2 crusts, and this is kind of what I got. So I'm just going to blind bake this. She didn't do that, but I'm going to do it for a few minutes because I just want to make sure that the bottom isn't like too mushy and everything like that. So blind baking is pretty easy. basically all you do is you just put some tin foil into the crust because, you know, this has baking powder in the recipe and you don't want it to plump up while it's cooking. You want to keep it flat. So basically, blind baking, I'm just taking some rice, you could use dried beans, and you just fill it. And I'm just going to blind bake this for about 7 minutes, and then I'll take it out and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so it's at a boil. I checked for seasoning. I think the seasoning is perfect. So now here I have, this is 3 tablespoons of cornstarch dissolved in just a little bit of water. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put that in there. And that's gonna help to thicken it. Some people add cream, heavy cream, you could do that. That would be no problem. You know, it's just all about preference. I don't really think it's necessary because I think it tastes just as delicious with or without the cream. If it looks too thick, you can always just add a little bit more water or stock. You know, you want it pretty thick though. Okay, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my chicken. So this is a roasted chicken from Costco and I just pulled it apart. Here, this is probably about 2.5 cups. And I wanted the chunks to be pretty thick, pretty big. So I didn't shred it too finely. And I'm just going to give that a mix. And I think it looks absolutely wonderful and delicious. I'm looking at the consistency. I'm probably going to go ahead and add a little bit more liquid. So I'll probably add about a cup of liquid, so I'll see you back. Okay guys, I just added about 1.5 cups more liquid. I actually put in about 1/2 cup of milk in there. I mixed it just to like give it that nice creamy color. So 1.5 cups more liquid, doesn't matter what kind of liquid. And this, I think, in my opinion, is the perfect consistency. It's slightly runny, but it's also thick. And I like that. I like to have a little bit, you know, of extra gravy to like sop up with the crust, you know. So this is ready to go. The carrots are cooked through. It cooked for about probably 20 minutes in total on the stovetop. So the next thing I have to do, and I'm going to turn this off, cover it, set it aside, and I'm going to get my crust that's been blind baking for 8 minutes out of the oven, okay? So I'll show you the next step. I'm also just going to add about a tablespoon of fresh parsley because I had it. I had it left over from the night that I cooked Spanish night at one of the local restaurants here. So why not use what you got, right? Okay, so I got these out of the oven. They just blind baked for about, I would say about 8 or 9 minutes. And now I'm just putting some of the filling in. My filling made a lot. I'm going to have some leftovers, but that for me is perfectly fine because I could just freeze the filling and then I could use that filling the next time I make this, or I could even just put it over rice and eat it like that. That would taste really, really good too. And I got my tops out of the refrigerator. I try to keep it cold for as long as I can. Okay. I'm going to trim, and I want about a 1/2 inch extra around the rim because I want that extra crust. And actually, I think I have exactly enough to top the third one, which is great. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is just press it. I'm going to try the fluted edge. I don't know. I'm not good at stuff like this. How do you do the fluted edge?
I've never pulled that off. I don't know.
Really?
It's deceptively simple. But oh, that one you go like this.
How? Wait. How do you do that? What are you doing there?
Just press one finger like this.
Really? Mine looks like crap. You could tell I'm not a baker, right? I like never bake. This is a special day in the Beecher-Olanji residence. And then, of course, we have to make slits because you need the air vents. So what should we do? Should we do, like, I guess like a cross?
That's enough.
Okay, I'm gonna get the other ones done, and then I'm gonna get them into the oven. I'll probably just wash a little milk over the top. Into the oven at 350 for about a half hour. So I'll see you then. I just wanted to quickly show you how much extra filling it made. It only made about 1 cup extra of filling, so I'm going to freeze this. I tried to get as much air that I could out of the Ziploc bags. I'm gonna freeze it, and then one night I'll just eat it probably with rice. It's easier that way. All right, guys, there it is. Baked for about 28 minutes. I think that they look like they came out really great. I'm proud. I don't do this very often, especially, you know, baking things. So I'm gonna let them sit just for about maybe 10 minutes, and then we are going to dig in and give it a try. All right, Dom's gonna give this a try.
Okay. Q, P, C, D, M.
Why are you so weird? Can you try the chicken pot pie? It's probably boiling hot, honey, so you really gotta blow on that. Sorry.
Woo. Hot. Mmm. And delicious.
Is it good? Is it everything that chicken pot pie should be and more?
It's very chickeny.
Good. All right. See you later, guys. Say bye.
Bye.